I'll give you an example. Just recently, I was working on a lead process, right? And I'm an old dude. I've been doing sales for 30 years. I am not an engineer by any means. But one day, I'm working on this lead process that involves a subdomain, a domain, an automation, a landing, like all this stuff that I really don't even have no business fooling in. But I wanted to do it. And I get to a problem that stops my progress. And this little problem was, well, it was above my pay grade, so to speak. I did not have the knowledge, the technical skills required to fix this problem. And I got very angry about it. And I started to think of myself as a failure. I'm like, if I can't solve this little problem, how am I going to build this big business that I'm building?
Next speaker is the best networker I've ever seen. He keeps showing up in my life, and he's about to teach you to do the exact same thing. He's on the entire 8% Roadshow, as he just mentioned a few minutes ago, as we're going to 10 cities in 9 months. He's all the way from Austin, Texas. Please help me welcome up to the 8% virtual stage. Our next speaker is none other than the one, the only, Mr. Tony Merwin.
Fantastic, is it not? Come on. I told you guys earlier, I was just up here a second ago, and I said, obviously you have a great view. I mean, this is a killer backdrop, right? You guys get to see this. What you don't see is what's on the other side of this camera. And what is on the other side of this camera is certainly some of the speakers you've already met, right, that have come up here, but there's about 40 people hanging out on the other side of this camera watching this event take place. Now, I believe in manifestation, and I say that because I remember when I was a little kid watching reruns of I Love Lucy, you'd hear that guy say, "This program has been filmed in front of a live studio audience." And I didn't know what the hell that meant. I was a dumb little kid, and I asked my brother, like, what does that mean? He was like, well, it means that there are people inside that room watching I Love Lucy film I Love Lucy. And I was like, that sounds kind of cool. And I said, I want to do that someday. That sounds like a fun experience. Well, I'm not just in the live studio audience, I'm actually part of the on-screen talent today, and I feel like I'm manifesting something that I thought about years ago. So that is super awesome. Thank you, Cody Askins, for putting on this event. Thank all of you guys for showing up to carry it. And certainly thanks to all of you guys for showing up so that we can be here to pour into you. This is an outstanding thing. And when Cody asked me to come out here and speak, number one, I jumped at the chance, but he said, hey, the theme is breakthrough. And I got super excited because that's an awesome concept. Who doesn't want a breakthrough? Everybody wants to experience breakthrough, right? Breakthrough is such a positive concept that pop culture has developed numerous television shows, all built around the concept of breakthrough. We don't just like experiencing breakthrough for ourselves, we like watching other people break through. I sit there and I watch that I can't even think of the name of it right now, one of the talent shows that's out there, and I see these people get their breakthrough, and I cry, I'll be honest. It brings tears to my eyes to see these people fulfill their destiny and break through. And we've already had some amazing speakers that have pointed out some things, so I'm kind of adjusting my talk a little bit to fill a few of the gaps. But we heard Marlon Faulkner came up and he talked about breakthrough, right? And one of the things that Edward Pritchard said, and David Price hit it as well, is that you got to have a destination. You have to have a clear knowledge and defined destination. If you do not have a destination, then you do not have a purpose. And if you don't have a purpose or a destination, then you will just amble around. Your purpose and your destination provide you as a compass to allow you to experience breakthrough. But you can never experience breakthrough if you don't have that destination clearly defined in your brain. Again, you might trip over some success, you might trip over some money here and there, but you will not experience the true breakthrough that you want. And what does breakthrough mean? Well, it means progress. Actually, it means major progress through innovation or discovery of how to overcome an obstacle, a significant obstacle, it even says. I'm going to say that one more time. The definition of breakthrough is major progress through innovation or discovery of how to overcome a significant obstacle. Now, significance is a relative term, right? What I might think is significant may not be significant to you. It may not be even less significant to someone else. But that doesn't matter, because if you in your mind believe that that obstacle is significant, then by all means it is, regardless. And I believe that when we get to the opportunity, when that obstacle hits us and it stops our forward momentum, our mindset is what's going to determine how we handle that obstacle. Marlon Faulkner said earlier, this is what I was trying to say, is like you either react or you respond. I'm very bad at reacting to obstacles, right? I'm an extremely driven person. I like to move forward, and that's what progress is, right? It's forward momentum. It's forward movement towards that destination that you have. So again, if you don't have the destination, you cannot move forward. It's impossible. You'll just amble around. So when something gets in my way that says, no, you're not moving forward, right? When Gandalf comes up, drops his staff and says, you shall not pass, I get pretty reactionary about it. I don't like that. I want you to get the hell out of the way, either get on the train or get out of my way, because I am going to run over you. So I do tend to react when problems hit me, when obstacles get in my way. But I learned that there's a process that you can go through to learn to move yourself from reacting to learning to respond. And there's really three major things that you can do. The first thing that you have to do, because when we get into these obstacles, these problems, these challenges, these adversities, very often our head is very focused on the problem, right? We have these blinders on and we're sitting there looking at the problem and we're thinking, damn it, it happened again. How does this always happen to me? Why can't I solve this problem? And you react and you become stagnant. And we have these blinders on, and as entrepreneurs, salespeople, leaders in organizations, we are designed to move quickly and move forward, and we don't like it when our progress gets halted. So we do tend to become reactionary, and again, I'm very guilty of that. But I found that if you take one quick step and you zoom out of the problem, zoom out and look at the whole arc of everything going on in your life and in your business. Stop being so focused on this granular detail that is slowing you down. Step back for a minute, remove yourself from the problem, look out, and see the whole arc of everything going on in your life, and you'll find out that, hey, things are actually going really well for me. I have no reason to be frustrated and upset. And that also frees up your mind. It gives you more flexibility so that you can start to look at that problem in a different light. And you can start to think about it differently and problem solve it and work it out, but you can't do it when you're sitting here the whole time. You got to zoom out and say, wait a second, what is going on around me that I should be so frustrated and mad from this little problem? It's just a speed bump in the road. Who cares? And what that does is that also, if you can't solve it there, the next step is you start to look outward a little bit, and you look for people around you that are smarter than you maybe. Maybe they've dealt with that problem before. Mentors, advisors, counselors, whoever it might be. You look to that person and you get some advice. Like, how would you attack this? They're going to give you fresh perspective, or they're going to help you just flat out fix the problem. I'll give you an example. Just recently, I was working on a lead process, right? And I'm an old dude. I've been doing sales for 30 years. I am not an engineer by any means. Pardon me. But one day, I'm working on this lead process that involves a subdomain, a domain, an automation, a landing, like all this stuff that I really don't even have no business fooling in. But I wanted to do it. And I get to a problem that stops my progress. And this little problem was, well, it was above my pay grade, so to speak. I did not have the knowledge, the technical skills required to fix this problem. And I got very angry about it. And I started to think of myself as a failure. I'm like, if I can't solve this little problem, how am I going to build this big business that I'm building? Like, I've got to figure out a way. And I got so mad about it. And finally I did. I took my own advice. And I stepped away, and it gave me some fresh perspective. I calmed down, and then my brain started to have some flexibility and started to work. And it was like, hey, you know a few people that could solve that problem pretty easily. Just give them a call. And of course, the problem was fixed, and I was able to move on, boom, bang, pow. Leads are pumping, the automations are working, right? So number one, zoom out. And if that doesn't fix it, then seek some counsel. The third spectrum of significance, in my opinion, on problems and obstacles is the really big ones, the ones that aren't just technical details. They aren't just obstacles like flat tires and problems that occur in your business. They're the bigger issues that you have to look inside and look within yourself. So I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. And I want you to listen close. You're the biggest obstacle in your success. You are. Not the flat tires, not the leads, not the uplines, not anything else. You are. And how do you solve that problem? You have to look within yourself and find the strength. Do you have what it takes? Do you have the skill set? Are you lying to yourself about who you are? Do you have that clearly defined purpose to send you to the destination that you have written? Because truthfully, we are our own worst obstacles. We get in our way all the time. We don't even realize we're doing it. But it constantly happens. Now, do what you will in regards to looking within, but the thing that works for me is meditation, self-reflection, being in a quiet place where I can stop and relax and get all the noise away, and I can really do some deep thinking and look within myself to find the strength. And I'm having to do it right now because the story that I'm about to tell I've never shared before. My best friend and my wife don't even know what I'm about to share with you. But when I was, I guess it was about 12 years ago now, I was not in a very good place in my life. I was very unhappy with myself. I was about 50 pounds heavier, and that really wasn't the root of my problem. That was just a result of my problem. My problem was definitely me. I'd just come out of a divorce. It was a nasty divorce. We were hating each other, being mean. It involved loss of assets and problems and arguing and all these things. And when I left all of that, I was burnt out in my business. I was not a happy person. I was drinking too much. I was fat. I was mad all the time. And I was blaming everybody else. I gave all of these other people the power. But really it was me, and it took me a long time to figure that out. And the day I figured it out is a day that I'm not real proud of. But had this day not happened, I would not be standing here today. And that day actually almost prevented me from standing here today anyway. But I was driving home one day from my office, and I don't know what was going on. I really couldn't even tell you now what was happening in my brain. But tears just started streaming down my face. Couldn't understand why. I didn't really know what was going on. But I knew that I was in a bad place in my life and I was unhappy. And as I pulled into my apartment complex, because I just sold my home, or in the divorce, right? So I downgraded, was looking at it as a setback, not a step forward. I pulled into the garage. I closed the door. And I left the car running. And I rolled down the windows. And I sat there and started breathing. I don't have to tell you what I was breathing. You should all figure that out by now. It doesn't take a rocket surgeon to realize what I was trying to accomplish in that moment. And I scared the life back into myself. I mean, I could say another phrase that you all understand, because I did. I scared the hell out of myself. But truthfully, I scared the life back into me. And I realized that, hey, the only reason I'm having these problems is looking right back in the mirror. It's not her. It's not the girl that divorced me. It's not the girl that cheated on me. It's not the people that told me that I couldn't do what I set out to do. I was giving them way too much power over me. I had to do it for myself. I had to realize that I am the problem. And the day that I realized that, my life changed in a flash. And I made a promise to myself that I will never, ever check out of this game. I will never, ever devalue myself in that method. I have more value than most people on this planet, and I know it, and I believe it. And I have become to realize that I am being selfish by holding that back. I hope you're not doing the same thing. There are people in this world that need to hear from you. There are people in this world that are waiting for you to come talk to them, whether it's about insurance services or life in general or just the general camaraderie. But you are being selfish by not doing everything that you have in life, by not living up to your expectations, your abilities. That is a selfish choice. I realized that day, and I said, I will never, ever make that decision again. I will bring you everything that I've got, and I'm putting it out here today. If I can make a breakthrough, I promise you all of you can. All of you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you guys for coming and supporting this, and I hope everybody has their absolute best year in 2022.
Hey, if you enjoyed this,
I got another one you're going to love.
it's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
So we've had a lot of unlicensed agents finding us, following our stuff, or newly licensed, just joining the business, and you're thinking like, dude, what is the life insurance career like? What's an insurance career like overall? Well, I want you to think about the vision.